Japoy is my idol.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Yes.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
I'm doing pretty good.
Radiant
we get to
team
see Neon,
pick.
right? And boom, across the board. Yeah, I'm sure that's coming through on the stream as well as the supporter packs. They've been purchased up. I believe that's Januel's voice, the that they've got there as well. With Neon as well, they had
10 seconds
MLP with his
remaining.
Just for Good Measure voice line, and
Dire
that to
team
me
pick.
was pretty quick into
Mirana.
Japoy is my idol. For all of those that aren't aware, Japoy, Yopaj, backwards, Japoy is his real name. I can't imagine anyone that would make their just the opposite of something else, you know, just having something spelled backwards. It's pretty ridiculous to me. But,
10 seconds
you know,
remaining.
You know, they're just gonna go down that route.
5 seconds remaining.
I had them probably second or third. I think the problem with them was they overthought a lot of their drafts. They went for things that were a little too crazy, a little too unorthodox.
Dire team
I
Radiant
think even
team
the
pick.
analysts panel at the time.
Radiant team ban.
They were saying, "Oh, just play it normally."
Dire team ban.
You can't try and reinvent the wheel every single time. This is much more standard. You know, play hard is good and is Mirana. Bristleback, very standard hero. They can play it in a multitude of different roles. And yeah, it just felt like they were trying to go for something crazy. Or
Radiant
even after
team
heroes were
ban.
nerfed quite heavily to take them out of first pick meta, they would still pick like Beastmaster
Dire
first,
team
for example,
ban.
and try and run it mid with the Ags. But it just was nowhere near as strong, and other teams punished them because of it. So both slow to adapt to mini patches, but also trying to, you know, like I said, reinvent the wheel. So hopefully they're able to just bring things back to somewhat normal.
10
They had a pretty good
seconds
showing
remaining.
in a recent third-party tournament as well, only losing in the grand final
5
to Motivate
seconds
Trust,
remaining.
I believe, in 3-1 fashion. But other than that, they made pretty short work of everyone else. So we'll see how they do against Boom, who have been looking red hot, only dropping the one game so far. That was against Galaxy Racer. Dreamer Cell, he's definitely pulling his weight so far this tournament.
Radiant team ban.
Japoy is my idol.
Dire team ban.
I mean, I would be like that. If my voice was in the game, you think I'm not spamming that crap all the time? Come on. I just felt like a Suns fan, I'm sure, is just putting out the and good effort every single time he's playing a pub. I guarantee it.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Dire
I mean, the
team
fact that
pick.
the Motivate boys, they've got Nani in their thing. I mean, I feel like that's going to get some international attention. So we'll see. You know, I saw a lot of the Chinese teams using Arkosh Gaming's like that. What timing? You are
10
already dead
seconds
with
remaining.
a cute anime girl saying it, but.
Yapoy is my idol.
5
Boy,
seconds
is my
remaining.
idol, indeed. I love this. You know, it's all about the interaction coming through. But I mean, oh well, we've still got a draft going on, and I actually haven't had a look at these bands and see how it's all shaping up. Sand King does feel quite targeted towards Neon because they do like to play both for the off lanes. Well, honestly, not so much in the off lane. It's much more of a mid for them. So maybe they're just thinking to have. To have a melee-based mid-hero that they wanted to be able to counter against. It's not like you're going up against Signal where, you know, Jamesy's all the time going to be playing the Mars in the mid, but
10 seconds remaining.
Makoto, I'm sure he's got it in his wheelhouse as well, but wouldn't be
5
surprised to see
seconds
something
remaining.
that's directly either going to counter the Bristleback. A little surprising, honestly, that they picked the Bristle into the Mars, right? Because you spear him, he turns around to face you. So clearly just respecting the strength of it overall.
Dire team pick.
Yeehaw!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, you say that, but they got the Mars as well, right, to protect it. So if you're right on point, you can use the arena as a little bit of protection against these ranged heroes. They're going to be trying to deal with it. It's not like you've got a Juggernaut just yet, or a Lifestealer that's able to just pop their spell immunity, walk into the arena phalanxes and try and deal with it. But, you know, with the Mirana, with the Snapfire, you do have, like, you're not completely screwed if you get caught inside that arena. You've got the leap if you click on the button, and then same sort of thing with the cookie. The spawn time of the arena is still
Radiant
a little bit
team
too
pick.
slow that it will guarantee catch the Snapfire in. And I don't think Bristleback minds too much, as long as he's able to dodge out the good old spear. They're being picked up. We saw, I believe, yeah, it was Makoto playing that, right? When they were in the other day, and it was a
10
dominant performance
seconds
as well.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back.
Faceless Void.
Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
I mean, the other line, right, it's going to be really on the positioning, but I think it's going to be like, will they have enough farm into it to be
10
able to get that
seconds
blink
remaining.
tag? Because I feel like this is one of those games where you just cannot walk forward at
5 seconds
this
remaining.
scenario.
Radiant
You're just going to
team
get caught
back.
every single time. They do like a way to get like onto the super back line at the moment. There's no Storm Spirit, there's no Spectre, for example. So Lion should be safe, provided that he doesn't overextend. It's not like a Mirana or a Snapfire are going to go super in deep. They're just going to be dead meat.
10
Bristleback, he's going to
seconds
try,
remaining.
but you know, you always run the risk of just being speared into something and
Dire
goes
team
down.
ban.
So that's why they are banning out the Storm Spirit. You know, they realize that this is the way that Boom are going to be wanting to play. Both the fact that it's good against the Lion and the Phoenix in general, but also just with how they want to take their team fights.
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
It just seems like they're celebrating every single one of their picks with these voice lines every single time it comes out. They're just like, that's it, we got it, we got what we wanted, let's go, let's celebrate.
10
Oh,
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
can you open the chat box just to have a look at how much they've been spending it? I mean, it's Jiao saying the voice line, so like, I understand we're doing
You may
it,
now select
but,
your heroes.
and we're just gonna finish off with an Ember Spirit. Okay. It's gonna have a little trouble getting bullied out somewhat in the mid lane by Yopaj, but if he gets an early Blightstone, then you know that Sleight of Fist is gonna do a lot of damage against the Tiny, not too much armor. Be keen to, interesting to see how the positioning is going to impact on it all. And again, as well, with the Ember Spirit, he's going to be a little vulnerable to, you know, some kind of rotations coming through from Playhard. So that's what I'm really going to be looking out for around those rune timings when Mirana's looking to roam. Obviously, a lot easier to do so compared with the Phoenix and the Lion. That, you know, you've already got a Tiny that's able to guarantee some form of lockdown with the Avatos combo. Just wait for that Sleight of Fist to be on cooldown. Toss them up in the air, get the arrow into it. It should be an easy kill. So the vision game around mid for Makoto is going to be super important, and then also just his positioning in lane as well to make sure that he's not vulnerable to that sort of stuff. Because, like I said, Lion, Phoenix, they do not want to leave their lane if they... I think so. It's going to rely quite heavily on just his individual play, though, right? Because you don't have these defensive supports. I mean, sure, you could argue that Phoenix is with the Sunray, but it's not immediate. You know, it needs time to ramp up the healing that you're able to do. So, you know, an immediate TP, it doesn't mean a false promise is coming through or an aphotic shield or anything like that. You know, you're going to need to rely on your individual skill to be prepared with these defensive remnants coming through. So I think Ember Spirit's going to be okay if he just breaks even in the lane, and then they're going to look to rotate, use their first ultimates to, you know, pretty high effect. Because, well, another issue they might have, excuse me, as well, is no real way to get in onto the Snapfire to stop those Mortimer's kisses as well. You know, you can get in, you use the Searing Chains, but that's not really going to do all that much against the channel there.
Just for good measure. Just to make sure he's dead.
A gift from the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it was 14 new teams that got added yesterday, so I was very happy to see that. Some, not even just the voice lines, like TMSMG's wallpaper looks great. It was done by the artist Dire Dude, who, you know, does a bunch of great
Middle lane is missing.
I wish you could just buy things individually as well, right? Because, like, I'll be honest, like, some of the other stuff in their pack, not that great, but I would buy that wallpaper. The Chen. Oh, it's so cursed when it's on the tower as well. I believe that's Skim. Remember back in the day when Skem was doing his POS 1 Chens? I feel like that's it. I say back in the day, it was about 8 months ago or something.
30 seconds to battle.
He has for sure. I feel like Chen is just in the bin these days though, so probably a bit less.
I'm very, very
you know,
sorry.
the heroes that were picked like less than 5 times across every single upper lower division season 2 DPC, and Chan was one of them, and a couple of the other ones that we saw yesterday that I don't believe were successful in the clicks and the Naga were there as well.
The battle begins.
Perfect.
Ooh.
You're welcome!
It's still fine. Like, you going up against the... Well, he's not able to dish out a ton of burst against you. Even Jowl. Like, you're a Snapfire, sure, you've got the little Shredder, you've got the Blightstone. It's going to be annoying, and I'm sure he's going to be prioritizing and putting into FBZ just so that you're, again, spending more gold on your taggers. You know, you want to be avoiding doing that as much as possible as they're smart. You need to try and pressure in the Faceless Void. It's probably going to even be worth getting the 1 point of the Bulwark at level 4, just to be able to stop a lot of the counter harass that might be coming out. Just looking at each other menacingly. It's a shared understanding, you know, like, this is kind of what we have to do. There's some cool stories going back to, like, you know, the World Wars on, like, Christmas Day, where both sides had, like, a ceasefire and they actually came and, like, played cards and had drinks together, and then the next day they were just back to normalcy. It's pretty sad, but, you know, it's the reality of the situation back in the day.
All's fair!
I tell you what. I'd say top, provided that, I mean, it shouldn't be as big of a deal if KezQ isn't out of position. Like, this Morphling is not going to be in a position to die all that often, but play hard. You can see he's got the Blightstone, you've got the level 1 Viscous Nasal Goo. That's all you really need. I say that, but mid lane, Yopaj is actually able to get the first blood on his own, not even needing the Mirana's help to rotate through and pick it up. And that's just as
Radiant's
the water
courier
spawn
has
as
been
well. So
killed.
he's going to look to clean up this this range creep, quickly rush over, grab one of them. If he can get both, that'd be a huge win.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dawnbreaker! It's gonna be a massacre!
Time to take the big jump.
I mean, any solo experience going to a Faceless Void, you're always going to be happy with that. It's just about getting out of the laning stage, but still, you've only got the 2 points in the Time Walk, so receiving a fair amount of harass. You've got Jowl coming back to the lane, though, with a fresh salve. It's going to be just fine.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Ooh.
Radiant are scanning.
Those really stack it up.
Toes up for me, death to all betrayers!
Howdy.
No goal
That actually
for
makes
you!
the rotation through to the water ring to make sure it's secured is actually Jowl. So, not even needing the Mirana to be able to do it, he even goes ahead and snipes the enemy bounty rune. So, Makoto, he's got no bomb charges remaining, just misses the toss there on Yopaj. Could have, well, not necessarily been more kill potential, but certainly a lot more harass
You have
considering he
been
doesn't have any bomb
denied.
charges left on this Ember.
I'll always remember Remember how foolish you looked?
Stars!
Wasted. You got rocks in your head.
Yeah, for sure. And you have to consider the fact that Makoto, at least he was able to get the kill before he died. It was all the solo experience, and he essentially gets a free bottle refill as a result. So with the deaths now granting the free TP scroll, he's not gonna care all that much. But you're already at a level and a half behind this.
Make sure he's dead.
Behind this Tiny, who's getting very close to picking up his phase boots. So
Middle lane is missing.
I've already been died a couple of times. I'm not quite that level 6 mark just yet. Will they be able to pick him off before he gets to there? It's probably only a couple of creeps away, but... Oh, lands. Toss back. Oh, nice lead coming through from Makoto. Still no remnants. Been a little bit of trouble.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It was not luck, but skill.
Victory!
Oh, really nicely done by Hyde as well. He makes the rotation through. There was a regen rune waiting for them, but he just some solid teamwork coming through. I believe FBZ just gave him his bottle so that he can go through.
Dire's middle
fill it
tower
up,
is under
get
attack.
the bounty, sit him straight back up to full HP. Well, close enough to it. This time though, now these play I'll say rotations. I mean, that was pretty key, considering he was sitting right in the middle of a creep wave. Not quite. A couple more levels, maybe.
What have we here?
Nothing.
Denied.
I think so, because the side lanes have been going well, and there's been some stacks that have started to be built up a little bit, although it's going to be CTM that does a very good job with their scouting due to the really deep ward placed down by the Mirana, so it's a nice job to be able to pick that out and just take it away for your comeback potential.
I thank you.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Maybe. He's TP'd down here, so he's pretty much a sitting duck. Might look to just to try and get away, but no.
You get
He's just going to fall down.
Radiant's bottom
York's in
tower
play
is
with
under
the
attack.
single right click, but at least for Neon's sake, that's me. He was able to TP up to the top side now that all this attention's on bottom, and we can see here CTM. He's just continuing to take away combat potential for the Ember Spirit. He's at least going to be able
Radiant's
to
middle
take
tower
a
is under attack.
small camp plus the creep wave, but it's nowhere near as much experience as they were hoping to be able to funnel through into it. That's the value as well. It's okay.
The prize is mine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Time grinds even mountain.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has
Third
fallen.
death of the game and bottom of all of the cores so far. So side lane's going real well for Boom so far. Already about to reach level 6 on the Phoenix as well. 10-minute mark starts to come up. I think probably feed through the time into Hyde, just because that level 7 is a big power spike for him as well. You're basically going to hit level 6 on KSQ very shortly.
Invisibility! Perfect!
Well. A real killer on the loose.
Nicely done. Damn, I'm good.
Yapoy is my idol.
That's for me.
Honestly, it's worth Zhao just staying up here. You got the siege creep available. If you TP up here, still that little shredder's going to do a lot of work. Plus the Blightstone onto the tower. Feels like Boom. Well, if they were to rotate anyone, it would have to be SVZ to try and make a defense happen of this top tier 1 tower. But this TP scroll still about 10 seconds left on cooldown. Let's see what they think to do about it. Do they last forever?
Radiant are scanning.
He's always watching, you know, you gotta be mindful of it. Ooh, this ancient stack, they're gonna scout out the CTF's taking it. It is daytime, but he gets the majority of it at least. You're very happy for that to be the case though for Neon. They're actually turning it around with Yokpaj. I guess they don't have many tools left.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Rock on.
You have been denied.
What a bounty!
It's another one of these power of information games, right? Where you're just constantly seeing stacks taken away by enemy teams, right on the timings for a lot of these neutral items coming through too. So that's going to give Boom a nice little power spike. And 10 to 10, 12 minutes in, not too much in
Middle
terms of
lane
lead.
is missing.
We haven't really seen Dreamercell be part of any kind of team fights. He's just been happily farming away. He's got his Morbid Mask, he's got his Yasha. He should be just fine, as well as the additional stats that you get.
Look out for fallen rocks! Flames will spread thrice.
Hard to say, right? Because, yeah, withstanding the burst, do you trust your Phoenix? And he's also going into a Desolator build. Oh, is that Desolator? No, he's going into the Maelstrom. Never mind. I think the Maelstrom is totally fine then with the Flame Guard absorption.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I can't find anyone.
Yes.
Nice arrow.
Triple kill! I'm spring mounted, of course. Pinned doesn't even describe it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And it's just the chain feeding happening right now from Neon. I mean, they dive beyond the tier 1 tower, so it's very easy for reinforcements to come in. A lot of the time they were just standing underneath this tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Right now, the Faceless Force doesn't feel much in terms of damage. You know, he's got a Yasha. It's not like you've gone this Mask of Madness, Maelstrom build that's able to dish out a lot more damage in these team fights. This feels a lot more like just a pure farming build. And Well, even though it's like that, Natsumi, he is not farming much at all.
Radiant
Still sitting at the
structures
bottom
are
of all the
fortified.
cores on the net worth charts.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Mau kemana, bos? Mau kemana, bos?
I'm very, very sorry, but you just got baited.
The prize is mine.
My waters
You're
rise.
just wanting to prepare for the fact that you're going to need a Manta style, right? He doesn't want to go a super early BKB. You're going to be able to get out of the Searing Chains. You've also got the Adaptive Strike that's going to be coming in at you, so I don't mind it all that much. Even hell, just getting off the Fire Spirit's attack speed slow is going to be pretty important. Yeah, you know what I was talking about
Dire's
before
top
with
tower is under attack.
the top tier 1 tower. Finally, it looks like Neon are going to try and put a little bit more attention onto it with this
Dire's
next
structures
siege creep
are
coming through. You've
fortified.
still got Xiao sitting around with his Blightstone. He's still got the little shredder available. Going to wait for the glyph to be popped. I mean, a little early for mine on the use of the actual
Dire's
little
top
shredder.
tower
Not
is
gonna
under
have
attack.
quite as much armor reduction last, but this is something that could have potentially happened 5 minutes
Radiant's
ago.
middle
and
tower
who knows,
is
maybe
under
that team
attack.
fight would have happened very differently if
Radiant are
they
scanning.
didn't have that tower on Boom's side.
Invisibility. Look out for fallen rocks.
Yeah, a little surprising to see Mirana have such little kill involvement relatively. I mean, 3 out of the 10 kills he's gotten earned, so he needs to be there. He needs to be with the rest of his team. Are you thinking about going for a smoke here?
You dishonor the right of
Can they get them on the retreat, though?
Be ensnared in fire.
Feeling here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sugar has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Radiant's
Just compare
bottom
the farm.
tower
He's
is under
basically
attack.
nearly got double the Faceless Void's farm as this Walkling, and he's being active around the map as well. You know, 10 out of the 18 kills gone his way. You compare that to the Faceless Void, only part of 4, 5 deaths involved in all of that, and you just have a look at it. Like, everything about him is doing damage right now on Faceless Void, but it's just not happening. You know, there's not much survivability for it. You're getting what? 16 agility plus 7 plus 20. That's 43 agility just coming from, you know, your neutral items plus you know, the swords that you've picked up. But I mean, it just never seems like they're in the right position. They're not completely connected together. Someone's always getting picked off first.
Speedy rune of haste.
rock on.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You must train harder.
Crunchy.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yep, take that 2-2 tower. Yopaj, at least now
Radiant's
he's got
bottom
the
tower
Ogre Axe,
is
so a
under
little bit
attack.
more damage that's going to come through with the burst. Once he finishes up that echo, that's going to be
Radiant's
very
bottom
useful for him,
tower
just
has
because
fallen.
it feels like so many times they've gone for these kills and people have
Money
survived at about
changes hands.
100 HP. If you could get that double hit in, get the tree tossed as well, to combo together with all of that, it's going to change things up massively for them. Hell, even if they get like a crit stick, for example, coming through, which right now the Faceless Void is holding on to.
Get blood from a stone.
They did just use the arena, so at least not having to worry as much about that. But yeah, again, I think that's a diffusal blade coming out to him. Let's see if they're able to stall out this Roche attempt long enough. He's got Jiao coming. He's only level 10. Just the level 1 Mortimer's Kisses. He's just going to look to park himself well away from this team fight and hopefully rain down some hellfire.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
One of these fights, you don't have arena again, and it's around a closed area like the Roche Pit, where Chronosphere can be really good, Mortimer's Kisses can be fantastic, not as many avenues to retreat with the Sacred Arrow. But Boom, to their credit, they realise that. They say, look, we've got a good lead, we've killed the Tiny for sure, but we don't have the guarantee yet to be able to pick up that Roche. So CTM is going to check it out himself, just body check it.
Dire are scanning.
Really gonna
Vanish!
Deceptive rune of invisibility.
You're welcome. From my stone.
He's just got to run. I mean, there was no damage inside that Chronosphere. You know, you bought back. Hell, Jiao might die again. Like, this pause, yes, it was for a DC, but it's going to let FBZ know, well, we got this little Snapfire here. That's where the pigs are coming out onto him as well. He's got no mobility. FBZ, he's got the Blink Dagger available. Less than 1 second on the Spirit of Mars cooldown, so that's going to be a dieback. And that's your Roche potential taken right there. You'll have the arrow to play out of these, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Maybe it will.
It's no small thing to be favored by the gods.
I feel like he just resigned himself to that,
Get
you know.
away.
I must have them all.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and
Roshan has fallen to the
being
dark.
able to pick people off. That's the great thing about playing a Morphling into a Tiny. You know, you're just able to morph in, get your own Avatos combo off, combine that together with a waveform, shotgun. That's enough to be able to take down basically everyone in the game so far. So you also have the Searing Change, which prevents the Faceless Void from being able to get away with that time walk, at least until he's got that Manta style. And basically everyone's a sitting duck, even the Bristleback right now, which, I mean, he's tanky. He's got a Vanguard, he's got an Eternal Shroud, he's got the Plate Mail, but it feels like Boom are taking this and their team fights really well. They're just ignoring the Bristleback now. He's gotten past the stage of the game where he can be taken out by a lot of attention. So he's just like, you know what? We don't care all that much about him. Let's try and maybe spear him up, control him off to the side, but it's the rest of the team that we're more concerned about.
Rapatin!
Mau kemana, bos?
Oh, it's going to be harder now. Well, who knows? It could be another one of these situations where an Aegis actually fools the team into a false sense of cockiness. But I think it's really important that you just start to get some stacks up on these urns. You're going to need to wait, though, until this Faceless Void has Manta. Like, him having Manta plus Tiny having the Echo Saber, that's the big timing. Like, Yopaj, you can see here, he's very scared about coming into lane even briefly. That wave pushed in, though. He's going to be able to buy the Quarterstaff if he wants it. He does. It's coming out to him now. It's got a little bit more burst potential. And it's just about finding the supports, but to Boom's credit,
Look out, the
they're either all standing
fallen
behind
rocks.
their vision, or they're all together. There's not a
Radiant's
situation
top
where
tower
someone's off
is
on their
under
own.
attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yes!
These embers, well,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Shadows take us.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Radiant's
prolonged
middle
cooldown.
tower is under
You
attack.
get a lot out of that. You know,
Dire's
that's,
bottom
that's
tower
given
is
Nasmi-
under attack.
Well, who ended up getting the kill there? It was Zhao, actually, so probably the person that you would have least wanted to be a part of that, but at least now he's going to be very close to that Blink Dagger, actually, with that cookie.
Radiant's
Gets
middle
it,
tower
so he's going to be
has
able to be a lot more
Prize is
Dire's
mine.
bottom tower is under attack.
cautious. What's
Radiant's
the right word?
middle tower is under attack.
He's going to be able to take advantage of his positioning more, sorry. Me brain no work good, this one. CTMU has been trying
Radiant's
to take
middle
a
tower
elimination
has
stack
fallen.
here, but he's going to have to come back because they're leading their base. So ETP's right back into
Dota
it. Nice toss coming through from Yopaj, though. There's a reason he's their idol.
I foresaw this end.
Mau kemana?
Kill.
You're welcome. Look out for fallen rocks!
Well, the opponent's found it.
Him doesn't even describe it!
Radiant's middle tower is fallen.
It's searing heat.
A couple of buybacks. Tiny. You know, I suppose they didn't use that. They'd used one previously on the Statfire. Void, of course, not in a position to want to do it. If they're out of position now, they could get Cronus to Mortimer's Kiss, but no, they're just like, look, we got exactly what we wanted out of that engagement. We can finally take away this outpost as well, so you can strangle them even more on the experience front. And, it's looking not so sunny right now for Neon, with Driven Cell about to hit level 20. His wave of form attacks targets, combine that together with a Satanic, and even though he doesn't have that Aegis, it's going to be very hard to kill this Morphling.
trickster's rune of illusion.
Very close to the Manta though. He can actually buy it there if he wants on Natsumi. You gotta catch the Phoenix, that's pretty much it. Speaking of the Phoenix, he's got a crap load of stuff coming out to him. He's very close to picking up the Holy Locket for himself as well. So you thought that healing was good before? You ain't seen nothing yet. At least now the Mirana has the Spirit Vessel, no charge, but there's none on the boom side either. So
Radiant's
a little
middle
bit
barracks
until
are
they're
under
able
attack.
to really impact on that sustainability.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Respect for Rage Rex. Come on.
A tool to teach.
Careful. Ugh.
Rock on!
Vanish.
Capture
He's got the axe.
Crunchy! Soak it in! So about the devil.
Yeah, that time they finally
Dire
did catch out one of the supports on the back line, but it was just protected by everything. They're playing around their arena perfectly. You've got nowhere to move. It's too early. You've had such a good early game that the BKBs aren't quite online yet. And yeah, again, just that chronosphere. It was kind of reminiscent of what we saw with the Song of the Siren and Sanctity, just not knowing who to channel up his Requiem of Souls onto. You know, you had Faceless Void running around the chronosphere like, who do I hit? Who are we going for with these Mortimer's Kisses? But at the end, it wasn't enough. And, well, boom, continuing their good run of form.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Nossa. Tá no meu ainda?
10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Não, tá. Jesus, o que? O quê?
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Nossa, eu não posso ficar com
10 seconds remaining.
o negócio aberto. Eu não posso
5
ficar com a
seconds
janela.
remaining.
Eu não posso abrir o Dota.
Dire team pick.
Oh, wait. The camera is on. Yeah, now we're good.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So, I mean, the stats speak for themselves, for sure. The Ice Cream himself is looking pretty strong
Dire
right
team,
now against all
Radiant
these big
team,
heroes.
Lion.
You just want to make sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like an ice cream. It looks like a nice triangle shape. Like a cone, you know?
Radiant team ban.
Praise King!
Your ice cream can still go in
Dire
your hands.
team
What if
back.
ice cream had arms? So it would, like, when you're holding the cone, it was also holding your hand, so it just wouldn't happen. Yeah, I would never let that happen.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Its ancient apparition is an ice cream.
Radiant team ban.
Ancient apparition. The lore is there.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds. Dire
Good ice
team
cream.
ban.
It's always going to be a win in my books. But Neon, their recent series, their most recent games, against Boom, they went 1-1. That was in the 5th to 7th tiebreakers in the upper division alongside Omega Esports. Neon ended up taking first place in that. Omega second, and Boom lost,
10
which meant that
seconds
they're going to be in
remaining.
the lower division. Who knows, actually, like how TI works and all that. There might be
5
some open
seconds
qualifiers
remaining.
again to be able to get to the upper division or
Radiant
whatever. Who
team
knows?
ban.
But with all of that, Neon actually won the second game, because they had a bit of a reset, because they all went 1-1-1, and Boom won the first game. So, and it was a pretty convincing style. I think they ran like a bristleback, a Nature's
10
Prophet,
seconds
and
remaining.
God,
5 seconds
every
remaining.
single time, but they've gone a little bit away from that this time. And the series that they lost against Neon was when Neon brood mothered them, and this was when Brood was OP. So we'll see if that's going to slip through. Last time Brood went all the way up until the last pick of the draft, but Boom, they've got last pick overall, so hopefully for their sake there's not going to be any sort of bamboozles. They've definitely got a lot more ways to deal with the Brood. Of course, the gods would be very nice to deal with it. You can even just toss up the bulwark, and realistically you're not going to die to all the spiders, dealing very minimal amounts of damage, but we'll see. We'll see. They've got a lot of good control for sure on Boom, and again, FBZ, I felt like we talk about Dreamer Cell and how he was getting a ton of farm and tons of impact, tiny, great morphling game to be able to play into, but
5
the Mars as well, it was
remaining.
on point. I could only count maybe 1 or 2 missed spears, but other than that, he was catching the optimal target every single time. I mean, compared to a Faceless Void, for sure. You know, with the Mars, you're always wanting to be, excuse me, poking and prodding. You've got that little bit of extra range just from holding a big spear. What is that about the newer heroes, by the way? Just saying, you know what, you can have a little bit of extra range. You got the Monkey King, you got the Void Spirit, you got the Mars. It's crazy. It's just like the power creep is real, basically. So we'll see how he's able to do it. At least the Wraith King has the Mortal Strike for the lifesteal. Now it's a 5.5 second cooldown at level 1, but it's still going to make your life a little bit easier.
Dire team pick.
Nothing wrong with a turn.
Earth Spirit.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And not even just that though, right? Like I talk about with the Wraith King, you need to worry about, okay, it's cool that you can kill him once, but you need to be able to kill him twice. And I feel like Tusk is one of those heroes that's fantastic at being able to do that. PL as well, right? Like, you're not heavily reliant on some massive one-off burst potential. I feel like the Finger of Death probably isn't going to be used on the Wraith King at all this game. It's just going to be about, you know, getting the initiation with the Tusk, use the tag team in combination with Finger of Death and whatever else you might have to take out AA or Earth Spirit, or hell, even some of the next few heroes that might come through from Neon. And then by the time you're ready to eventually go on the Wraith King, you know, you can crowd control him with some ice shards, you could spear him off into a tree somewhere, you could hex him, then, you know, you're going to have that second tag team up, and that's going to be enough to take him out. And then by that time, you know, PL's going to be there, you're going to be able to do a bit of the cleanup. So we'll see. I like this PL pick though, especially if they go into a
Legion Commander,
a Axe Shard style of build pretty early on.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you always have to worry about, you know, picking up a hero. I mean, the Lesh is gone now, right? Is Ember Spirit already been banned? Yeah, it has. So there's not really all that much that the PL's worried about at this point in time. And is there that Neon might look to pick? No.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Puck as well, I suppose, if you went into phase shift attack, you might have been able to deal with the engines a little bit more. I wouldn't go a Bristle again, would they? And just toss him mid and then hope that the PL hits him. But I felt like Boom addressed Bristle pretty well there. Just don't attack him. You know, gank him super early on so he's not able to snowball, and then don't attack him at all. It makes Eternal Shroud useless.
5
it makes
seconds
Vanguard
remaining.
useless. It's I felt like their target prioritization. I don't know what's happened. Like Boom have just increased in caliber massively over the course of like a week, and it's a little unfortunate that it came a little bit too late for them. But they're looking good now, and I like to see it.
Dire team pick.
Wind Ranger at your service.
It's tempo. It doesn't deal with a PL, you're right, but it at least gives them some tempo. We're going to look to see a very active Yopaj. It felt
10
like
seconds remaining.
he was spending a lot of time in that mid lane. You know, yes, he did do
5
well against
seconds
Makoto in the
remaining.
laning stage, but nothing really resulted from that. You know, you don't have the same level of mobility as a Tiny. You don't want to go into these fast items, but you know, all you really need is a Javelin to be able to make something happen as this Wind Ranger. You know, rotate through to probably the Mars lane and try and take him out there before he's got any or many points into the Bulwark, and just quickly take him out. Make sure that the Wraith King has a good game, because you know this feels like it might be a Radiance game coming out here for Natsumi, just to be able to have that burn going up against the PL.
Choose your hero.
Don't mind it. I mean, you've got the tornado to be able to deal with the wind run. Lots of stuff that's still going to be doing damage all throughout the evasion that he's going to have. You know, you just get the cold snap with an urn on top of him until he's got the BKB. There's not too much that Yopaj is going to be able to do to deal with that, and yeah, some decent survivability as well. How's the rotation looking? I mean, Earth Spirit and the Tusk actually both very strong rotators, so I'd say Invoker's probably going to be the one that's in a little bit more trouble if Earth Spirit does decide to rotate, just because you've got that kick potential as well. Make sure he's under the tower. He's always going to be carrying a dust. I feel like this is, of course, going to be a Quaswex style build.
10 seconds
So
remaining.
we'll see how it goes, but I mean, they had the last pick overall.
5 seconds
I feel
remaining.
like Boom, their team cohesion has been fantastic. I feel like their target prioritization has been on point, and you know, even their cosmetics game is looking pretty spicy as well. So there's not too much to dislike about them.
Prepare for battle.
Did I feel a creak in my joint?
I think they can, but I think this game is going to be incredibly important about how they take their team fights, and more importantly, who they go on, right? Because they've picked a Legion Commander into a Tusk, so you know that there's always going to be that save from the snowball coming through, so you cannot allow CTM to scale with that dual damage. So I feel like that's going to be a big part of Boom having a success. He's going to be real squishy, so try and take him down first, then get the duel onto the Tusk to try and take him out, and then it feels like a lot of the formation for Boom will crumble. But I feel like FBZ, he feels like he might have to play a bit more of a defensive role this game. That game one, he was very aggressive, but for me it feels like Neon, they're going to be the ones being a lot more proactive this time around.
The battle
They're even committing
begins.
3 heroes into a Tusk lineup, and well, to their credit, they kind of scare him off a little bit. So it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade into a Tusk, which is always a big win.
Demised.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel like as well. Honestly, individually, they're both incredibly skilled players. EMP connects onto him though, which is going to make that power shot
Radiant's
start a
middle
little bit
tower
more
is
difficult.
under attack.
Even there, just being able to dodge out some of these power shots, go for the mind games with power shotting where they thought he was going to be, playing some Space Invaders in lane. Was your approach?
Set in stone. Not today.
It's just a solid combo.
It's gonna be a
Already going in. Yeah, Wise Creep might be in a little bit of trouble, although the turnaround potential from that slow and the cold feet pretty deadly. And it shows how important that was as well, because he actually popped the salve as the Tusk was chasing him with boots just for like that extra 40 HP or whatever it was that he ended up getting. So just that little bit of extra gold injection, they were not wanting to give that up to either this Tusk or the Mars, who can snowball heavily off of a really good early start.
It's not your time. Pinned doesn't even describe it. The only one surprised by this is you.
Long attack range, and the fact that, you know, the Mars ended up giving up the first blood, but that meant that Hyde was there to fight more of the experience that came from the ancient apparition kill. Was already level 3. Just showing how effective that can be so early on. 1 point in all the different abilities was all they needed to get
I shall rest in clay. Ah! I tip my spear.
Observe ward yet. Come on, walk forward. See it? See it? They kind of know. Go back on off. There we go. Ends up picking it up. But, you know, they'll play the Task, the Earth Spirit, the Clockwork, these style of very similar heroes, but, you know, we saw there. He could play Pulse Core Doom. He can play, we saw him play a Sand King. He can play a Phoenix. You know, there's a lot of versatility in Hyde's hero. Hell, we've even seen him play a Pulse 4 Darkseer in the past before. So that's what I really like about it. point again. Yes! Great speed.
Dire's structures are fortified.
All of us, thank you.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll return the favor.
The archives of time are lost with me.
Yeah, that's the teamwork that you like to see. You know, we saw it on bottom there with Hyde being able to save from that 3-man gang rotation. You have Zhao rotating through the mid lane, double mango actually being used onto Yopaj to make sure they secured that kill.
Got it.
You know, it's just, again, FBZ immediately gives his bottle over to Hyde. He's just going to pick it up, walk up back to lane. It might be a little bit slow though, because that 3-man rotation is still going to continue.
What kind of war is this?
Can he kill Natsumi? One more?
I could have sworn there were more. Money changes things. Down for the count.
Still had his bottle as well, the 2 sips of the bottle on Hyde, so not opting to use that when they weren't hitting him as he walked to the left of that small camp. Maybe might have been able to live that a little bit longer to make sure your spells came off cooldown, but still, it was a good attempt. Doesn't end up netting them anything though in the long run. 3v2, you kind of expect that's how it's going to happen. CTM still kept up solo here on the top side of the map.
Dire are scanning.
And say 1v3 actually. Oh no. Until then. They were actually a little
Radiant's
short on mana
middle
as well
tower
on
is under
Kesku
attack.
to be able to get the Hex so that, you know, slowed him down, make sure they were able to catch him even with that overwhelming odds.
I must have them
Small
all.
misplays coming out from Boom, and let's see if Neon are able to punish it accordingly. You can see, like I mentioned before, the rotation coming through. Again, just catching him out on the wrong side of that shards, but it should be enough to be able to pick up the kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, thanks. Quaswex combination with the cold snap means that you're always scared, even as this Wind Ranger, with EMP just to trade some of that mana. Yeah, who needs to go back to base, you know? Makoto back at full HP from the steal coming through from that. And that's a big bonus for the Tusk as well, right? He doesn't have to go into the himself.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Would have been good in them. Stone spoons.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, there is some kill potential there now that FBZ's level 7 already at the 9-minute mark. Also, I believe he's got his phase boots coming out to him, so that's a big damage boost coming through, as well as the level 5 on Hyde. Being able to get that tag team in onto him, so we'll see what they're able to do. I mean, you can see here, they smoke up. It was it underneath a ward? Yeah. They know exactly what's happening. That's me. Gonna stick around just to get that last hit. But it's not cost him. Very greedy.
No!
And they have a decent number of defensive wards around their jungle entrances, right? Like, basically nowhere can Boom go unless they're going to get spotted out. They've just dropped down a nice deep observer ward, so they kind of realize, well, this is probably where he's going to be going next. He's not coming back down to this bottom side of the map. But even just there, the communication coming through from FBZ, like, they saw that smoke was happening. But, you know, just dropping the arena a little bit early, giving them the time to make up the distance, and it was enough to be able to catch him out. I think he had the Wex invoked as well on the Invoker, just so he had that increased level of movement speed to make sure that he was able to quickly join in onto that gank attempt. Tusk's here.
Hey!
Execution style!
It's a lot of damage.
Worthy of a
He's
god's
alive.
praise to the mad moon! Well, I tried.
Mau kemana, bos?
You've got the right idea, Tusk.
I think it's just a lack of respect being given over to the enemy team's lineup
Radiant's
again
bottom tower
from Neon.
is under
It's been
attack.
plaguing them a little bit for the past month or so. But, you know, you know the Invoker's here, you know the Tusk is here. They're going to get that snowball save off every single time. And he's tanky enough that even though they're
Radiant
confident of
structures
he
are
was enough
fortified.
to get away. He had a couple of sips left in the bottle, and good combination together
Radiant's
with the
bottom
EMP to make
tower
sure
is
that
under attack.
Neon, even though you had 3 heroes, Makota was going to be at full mana, and you had no more tools to be able to follow up with damage.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yep,
Mere
makes
coin.
sense.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No! Ha! Got an arrow in their eye.
Killing spree. Shadow. Knockout!
Yeah, this roaming duo is doing a lot. Well, FBZ's not actually doing all that much of
Radiant's
roaming. Everyone
middle
else
tower
is just
is
coming in
under
and giving him
attack.
free kills over and over
Radiant
again.
structures
Makota with the
are
11-minute
fortified.
minus as well. Pretty decent timing coming through from him. And he's just being a menace on this map. Not often that you see an Invoker getting this active this early.
Of ourselves.
There, the quiver now.
Got the
Mau
biggest.
kemana, bos?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Thanks.
He'll die. They gotta be careful about popping up here.
You should have chosen literally anyone else.
Yeah, that one was on CTM, unfortunately. You had the Tusk, who was really isolated away from the rest of the team. Could have simply just dueled him, had the Invoker right next to him with the Arcane Rune that he just bottled up, and very easy to get a pick off, plus the dual damage. And even then, right, he was inside the Roche pit.
Radiant's
They didn't
courier
see him.
has been
He knew
killed.
3 heroes were around with very low HP, and he's maxed out.
Radiant's
those
middle
shots.
tower is under
They caught
attack.
out here, Yopaj. They get the silence off. Nicely done there by Playhard to be able to stop that as he
Radiant's
rolls
middle
into
tower
3.
has fallen.
Perfect location.
Even Hyde's not going to be able to get away from this one, though.
Salty.
He's very anxious to try and walk into this. No finger of death, at least, for Kescute to be able to counter for a lot of burst potential. But yeah, that fight could have gone so much better
Radiant's
for Neon,
bottom
and
tower is
unfortunately
under
for
attack.
CTM, it feels like it was kind of on the back of him. Maybe
Dire
like
are
a duel,
scanning.
as well as a couple of heroes clean up, but ends up losing his own life instead. So not having the most ideal start, barely above the position for Tusk on the enemy team.
Rise! Rise and shine.
Regeneration.
Radiant's top tower is
Hyde
under
sticking
attack.
together with Makoto. He's getting that trusty shovel though.
That's a good edge.
Radiant
Shouldn't
are
have
scanning.
executed the blacksmiths.
Oh, they kind of spotted out CTM series, only level 8. So, have quite as much. At least he's got the 1 point in the press the attack now. So you've got a little bit of that save potential coming
Nobody's
through.
down there.
Unless it's you that gets speared. Then you're
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mine snuffed
You've
out.
got blood on you.
Dire's structures are
They're picking out
fortified.
top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I accept this offering.
I mean, he hasn't joined in anything. PL hasn't joined either, though.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, they saw that the TV
Dire's top tower
was 2
has
or 3
fallen.
that ended up being cancelled, but it's a lot of space for this top side of the map now that Natsubi could feel very confident in just farming up his solo, getting the solo experience. He reaches his level 12 as well, so you've got that little 2 reincarnate. And just about 100 or so gold away from that radiance. I'm sure he's saying to CTM,
Radiant's
"Get away
bottom
from me."
tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
I lose life.
What need have I for this?
Again, just not respecting what the enemy team is going to do from Neon. You know, Natsumi very obviously TP's down to that bottom side of the map. Yes, you need to deal with the tier 2 tower, but if you reveal that TP, there's nothing stopping Boom from saying, right, let's go. You know, Wraith King, he might have that Radiance, but we don't care. He's still not going to be a part of this next fight. They snowball that into 2 more kills.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Put a bit more damage around that that mid tier 1 area.
A wise king always has an army in the wings.
They kick him away.
Sword
They'll
set stone.
Alright. This feels a lot better.
Radiant's
Natsumi needs to be
bottom
playing
tower
a
is
lot
under
more with the
attack.
rest of his team, and they
Dire's
need to not be
middle
using
tower
these
is under
TPs
attack.
quite as frivolously, or at least so obviously. It's fine to TP down to one side of the map, maybe, you know, put your skeletons there, but you gotta immediately walk up to where the rest of your team is, if that's the case. So that you can,
Dire's
you can still
middle
be
tower
jungling, you can
has
still
fallen.
be getting some farm, your skeletons will be pushing out the lanes, so you're not concerned about it, but you have to be joining the team right now. You know, they've bought you 18 minutes of time, it's basically
Radiant's bottom
Natsumi trying
tower
to carry
is
the
under
game from now.
attack.
TPs start to come in. It's a long one though. Both of them having the Observer Ward up in basically the exact same spot. I wonder if that Neon Obs Ward caught out the more recent one placed by Boom. CTM though, they're gonna start.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Nicely done. Oh, the double!
Yeah, please, my idol.
I knew they would find the rat here somewhere. Triple kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures structures are
Very nice
fortified.
team fight. That time around, it felt much more on the back of individual skills. You know, play hard,
Dire's top
getting
tower
through. It
is
feels
under
like
attack.
he's always playing that old school OG style where, you know, you're not content just to get the one kill. You're always just diving extra deep to try and get a further one. And that time around, he was able to land the roll in onto the back lancer, kick it back, get the duel. Tusk for once not in position to get the save through, and they were just able to stumble that one through, getting lucky with the shackle, hitting onto a couple, just able to clean things through from there.
Radiant are scanning. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
What have we here?
Yeah, I mean that bullwhip is nice, just for being able to consistently farm, but against the DL, against the Adranka, you're always going to be a little bit worried. I don't think, you're right, I don't think they can afford to wait for the second Roche. It's still going to be at least 8 minutes away, so it's too much time. You know, you know the enemy team has this diffusal. Dream Missile's very close to picking up his Mantis Star
Radiant's
as well,
bottom
about
tower
300
is
gold
under
away.
attack.
So, something that you're going to have to be concerned about. He'll be level 15 too.
Radiant's
Spirit
bottom
Lance
tower
as much
is
as
under
possible.
attack.
Going very
Dire's
deep
top
with
tower
the,
is under
Spirit
attack.
Lance, that's me.
I don't need to brag.
Set money changes hands.
The scaling is starting to kick in now, though, for CTM. He's still far and away the least farmed core, but at least he's got a bit more of that survivability. He's got the hood, he's got a good amount of strength,
Dire's
just from
bottom
his
tower
levels,
is
as well
under
as his
attack.
item choices, some armor, and the essence ring. So, plus 50 damage coming through makes him much more of an individual
Dire
threat
are
coming through into this
scanning.
game. It's getting to the point where, you know, the
Dire's
opponent
bottom
is basically
tower is
all
under
offensive
attack.
items
Dire's
so far,
bottom
and all
tower
farming
has fallen.
greedy items. So if you catch him out, he's in a pretty vulnerable position. You could even potentially solo him. Double smoke coming out from the Neon cores. CTM wasn't part of it though. He was standing right next to him, but he just stayed hitting the small camp. And with that deep ward that was recently there, they're going to try for the AA blast onto Mikoto, but they know though. Saw it on the map. Play hard again.
Monster kill!
It's a long team. He went
Dire's
to the
bottom
outpost.
tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Lights out.
Still going in.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Kill the living
Radiant are
and
scanning.
smash
The
the
chat
stone.
coming out as well. The RUK wanting to commit so heavily in onto a task, but he just ends up getting away
Dire's
with that
top
early blink
tower
that he was
is
able to
under
get
attack.
because of this.
Dire's
Good team fight
structures
dominance
are
coming through from
fortified.
Boom. That's me though.
Radiant
Not quite level
structures
18
are
gonna be
fortified.
that's how it is restart if it was on cooldown now.
You're welcome! Do not stand against us. But I'm the king! Double kill times again. I think perfect! Of course! Grind me to pulp! Even then I shall return! The king uncrowned! Double kill!
Demise.
I'm okay.
And it's one of these games where the longer team fights, they're going to start to favor Boom very shortly, because you've got Dreamer Cell, he's level 19, you're a PL, it's very hard to kill you, and he is going into that Ag Shard build. So once he reaches up to that amount of gold, he's going to have the Aether Lens, eventually building up into the Octarine, spamming it out every 4 seconds. And with a lineup like this that's so reliant on just being able to constantly use, and it's going to be a pretty big deal.
This will do nicely.
Again, it felt like a little bit of a lack of respect. You know, they were trying to take the tower, and you can't fault it for that. You know,
Dire's middle
they had a
tower
pretty
is
good
under
power spike
attack.
at the time. They had the Aegis, but
Radiant's
just continuing to
bottom
dive
tower is under
underneath the
attack.
tier 2 tower at top when you knew that Makoto was respawning quite soon. You have the EMP. You had the area control.
Radiant's
There's no
bottom
BKBs
tower
just
is
yet
fallen.
on Neon's side, except for Yopaj, who wasn't at the fight. So there was no way you were going to be able to escape.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
When you get to hell, tell them I sing. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yeah, and
Dire's
that
top
level
tower
20
is
once
under
he adds
attack.
shards, so expect to see a lot more illusions, and this push is going to become much easier. They don't have the glyph as well for the next 2 minutes or so, so
Dire's
it's
top
just
tower
pretty damn
is
easily.
fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It's going to force him back.
I had a lot of fun collecting this lot.
I haven't seen much of that, you know, like the Old Ranger, even the Timbersaw, the Mars, just using the Ironwood tree. It feels like it's been a while.
Illusion.
Good news for the illusion to keep the mid lane pushed out a little bit, put some pressure, force some
Radiant's
attention
courier
towards
has
their
been killed.
Wraith King. That's what he's kind of off on his
Radiant
own, actually,
are scanning.
with his real hero. He's just going to continue pushing forward. This could be a big mistake if he walks forward into it, but no. Went forward by Fizzy. Deters him. Wanted to go for that. If they had any kind of vision.
Mau kemana, bos?
Japoy is my idol.
Spidey sense. And CTM is not.
You're welcome.
Ooh. Oh, some Indiana Jones shit.
Dire
Giant
are scanning.
bull running at you and able to just get away.
You know what to do.
Japoy is
Radiant's
my
middle
idol.
tower is under attack.
Japoy is my idol.
Alright. To me, it feels like Playhard's the one keeping Neon in this game. He's been really good with his rotations, going in super deep, and really enabling a lot of these gank attempts to happen. I don't think you'll be able to get back the outpost in time for that 29-minute experience, but at least you'll have a little bit more jungle control back. way to TP back to your side of the map. And you can see here, he's even going into the BKB, which, you know, I agree with you. I feel like the AC wasn't necessarily the item. Natsumi needs BKB. You know, you're having to deal with stuff coming through from Boca, the lockdown coming through from Alliance, hell, even the Mars, PL draining your mana. Tusk you're not quite as worried about because he's still going to be able to Walrus punch you, but
Roshan has fallen to the ring.
successful attempts, they're going to be able to get him a lot closer to it. He's only about, what is that, about 1,200 gold away from being able to pick up the completed BKB. You gotta pick up the Paladin Sword, Natsumi, though. It's sitting there on the ground.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Zhao? Yeah, he's like, hello? Good item. No, they I don't know why, but like, Natsumi dropped his item and then said, hey Jeff, can you pick up this item that I was standing next to this entire time?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This axe shot being picked up by CTF is actually a really big deal because now you're going to have that spell immunity.
Dire's
If someone gets
structures
caught
are
within the Mars arena, as long as CTF's good with his positioning, you can get right on the edge, use the press the attack, and they can just walk on out.
Dire's
it
middle
provides a
tower
lot of
has
disengage
fallen.
now for your team.
Pin doesn't even describe it.
Not getting caught out like this, but he's got the might even burn one. Oh, double!
I'm entitled to a rematch.
Yapoy is my idol.
Gods were never.
Sit. No! I had a lot of fun collecting this lot. Should I drop the shield?
Hey!
Oh, now you've done it! I will have my vengeance!
You're looking for BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nice one. Oh, gets it!
Yapoy is my idol.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Did you see that?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower
Even getting
has
this
fallen.
with the focus fire.
Dire's middle
Just the
barracks
value
are
of
under
those
attack.
items that he's feeling it himself again.
Dire's
Not
middle
too often that you
barracks
see
has
a
fallen.
position 1 or position 2 player hold a team
Dire's
on
middle
until the
barracks has
32-minute
fallen.
mark of the game, but you're just able to make such amazing stuff happen with the use of that
Kill the living
that tree
and
shackle.
smash the
And,
stone.
you know, we just saw the effect of having
Dire's
that
top
negative
barracks
shot
are under
purely
attack.
in that fight, right? The Aegis eventually did get burned away, but it doesn't mean much of anything. They had to use so
Dire's
much more
top
resources to be able to get
barracks
back for that with Boon. They
Dire's
used
top
one or two
barracks
buybacks
has
for that
fallen.
one. I think it was just the Mars, right? No, Tusk as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
My GameSpot shares. They're up, baby. They're up.
Got it.
A king at his court should never part.
Dogecoin, yeah. I'm not a Dogecoin owner anymore. I'm
Dire
a
are scanning.
owner of 10 million SHIB right now. Oh, they walk into this.
Soak it in! Mega kiss. Let them bleed!
rolls in, and you know, recovering for the fact that, you know, CTM might not have been as farmed as he could have been. Natsumi, some odd TPs putting Neon in a hard situation, but individual skills sometimes is enough to pull you across the line, and they'll be thanking their lucky star